Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Triple Double Podcast. It is Friday, November 2nd, 2018. I'm happy to be here. I'm your host, Eddie Fitzgerald. With me today, Hunter Isley.
What's going on, everybody? We have a guest with us this week. Who is it? Cam McKee.
It's Cam McKee.
Hello.
Yeah!
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? Good to be back.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we are finally back. It's good to have you back. We're on for episode 2. The NBA season is finally here, and we're just having a grand old time. We're doing a little bit of a flashback Friday here on the podcast. For those of you who have followed us since the beginning, you'll know that we used to do a little segment called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, where we give you one good storyline, one bad storyline, and one absolutely ugly storyline from the weeks past of the NBA. We're also going to go into Tyron Lue getting fired just after his first couple games as, actually being a coach instead of just, letting LeBron do the whole thing. And a surprising rookie who has jumped out after the first 9 or so games into the season. With that being said, fellas, you guys ready?
Yes, sir. Let's get it on the road.
All right, let's do it. The first good storyline that I want to bring up is De'Aaron Fox. Now, De'Aaron Fox, when he came in, there were a lot of questions about his jump shot, about how he would be able to perform with the Sacramento Kings and just kind of like being the only person there. There were no real questions about his athleticism, his playmaking, and his defense. But this year, he's really stepped it up. Now, granted, it's only a small sample size, but he's averaging 19 points a game, 4.5 rebounds, and almost 8 assists, which is absolutely fantastic. I believe I saw a stat that he's the first player since Magic Johnson, the youngest player since Magic Johnson, to have 30 points, 15 assists, and I believe 15 rebounds, something along those lines. So absolutely fantastic. The dude's a stingy defender. He's leading the Kings to a winning record at 6-3 right now, which is absolutely fantastic if you're a Kings fan. I don't know why you would ever want to be a Kings fan, but if you are...
Hey, they're on the rise, having a great season.
They're on the rise, and De'Aaron Fox is a major part of that. Cam, what's your good storyline?
All right, my good storyline is a team that I know we've talked about on many occasions, how we love this team, we love what they're doing. I think it's finally starting to pay off, and that is the Denver Nuggets.
Oh.
This team is finally putting those pieces together that we've talked about. Your two's favorite player, Gary Harris.
Gary Harris!
18
most underrated player.
He is incredibly underrated. He finally gets the spotlight, but he's still Nikola Jokic leading that team. He's becoming a great leader, putting up 19.4 points per game and 10 rebounds per game. And then, of course, you got Will Barton, you got Paul Millsap, you even got like Juan Hernan-Gomez all the way down in that roster. He's coming, getting some bench minutes, getting some points. I love the Denver Nuggets starting off 7-1. I mean, it's a shame that they're with the Warriors, but I think this is a great team in the future.
Feels so good to have Cam back. Oh, my goodness.
We missed you, Cam.
We miss Cam so much. All right, Hunter, what's up?
All right, so my good for this week is he had the best Halloween costume, I think, of all time. It's Derrick Rose dressing up as MVP Derrick Rose. He dropped 50 points. Nobody... Who in the world thought Derrick Rose was going to score 50 points this season or for the rest of his career? And he did it very efficiently, too. He only took 31 shots. He shot very well from the field. And I think he's also has a really good chance at winning Sixth Man of the Year this year, because right now he's the sixth man behind Jeff Teague on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Jimmy Butler is most likely going to be traded sometime soon. Nobody's really sure what's going to happen with that situation at the moment. But whenever Jimmy Butler's gone, Derrick Rose is going to get a lot more shots.
Just game day soreness.
Game day soreness every day. But Derrick Rose is going to get a lot more shots. He's going to get even more opportunity. So I think he's got a real shot at that Sixth Man of the Year. And I have a really interesting stat to throw out there, too. So Derrick Rose, the night he scored 50 points, he took 653 dribbles, okay? 653. I believe one or two nights before, Klay Thompson scored 52 points. Do you guys want to guess how many dribbles Klay Thompson?
Oh, I know this. It was like 7, wasn't it?
It was more than 7. It was 56 dribbles.
Oh, well.
But still, 56 compared to 653 dribbles, it just blows my mind.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, compared to what like each player is, you're looking at Klay Thompson, who is a catch and catch and shoot artist, versus Derrick Rose, who makes his plays off the bounce.
That's true, but I feel like 653 dribbles is a little excessive.
It's a little bit extreme. It's a little bit extreme, but when he's hot, he's hot.
He's hot. You got to give the rock.
Cam, give us a bad storyline.
Well, I mean, one of the worst storylines in the league right now is what the Houston Rockets are doing. I mean, the Carmelo effect could not be more real right now in the Houston Rockets locker room. They're started off 1-5 right now. Absolutely horrible. This is the team that was on the brink of beating the Golden State Warriors last year if it weren't for that Chris Paul injury. Just teams are just like putting up point after point after them. They just don't know how to play defense. Harden is out, I will give you that. He's been a little injured, but he's still there. He's played 4 games so far this season. I mean, Carmelo's not really doing anything. He's not. He's playing as like their quote unquote sixth man, but he's not the talent anymore to be a sixth man. Just their team is not responding well to just what they're doing right now, and I think they need to turn it around because right now it is bad. It is almost ugly. It's not quite my ugly, but it is very bad. And I think they can turn it around. They just have to really take a look at themselves. Maybe one of those famous players-only meetings coming soon in the Houston Rockets locker.
The players-only meetings. I would say that there's definitely a lot of concern surrounding the Houston Rockets at this point, but you got to take into account that James Harden is injured. This team, granted, should not be 1-5 just losing James Harden, but give him some time, maybe work it out. Obviously, losing Trevor Ariza this offseason was a huge part to what that team was doing with their 3-and-D style.
Very underrated loss, yeah.
And I think that compared to, I hope that they don't go out and trade for the guy that is my bad this time around, and that's J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith has requested a trade from the Cleveland Cavaliers. He says his time is done. He doesn't want to be in Cleveland anymore. And the reason why I say this is bad, because typically when a player says they want to leave, it's a good thing, because then, they can get rid of that bad player, they can get rid of that bad contract. But that means that some misnomer team who thinks that they're going to be able to compete in the playoffs is going to give up, a key quality player and maybe a pick to acquire J.R. Smith. And he's going to absolutely destroy your locker room. He's going to not know how many seconds there are in the last seconds of the basketball game. He's going to completely overshoot the basketball, and he's not going to want to come off the bench, regardless of what team he's on. He's played a starter in Cleveland for I don't know how long, so he's not going to go to the bench.
He started last year?
He did. Yeah,
okay.
He did.
Yeah.
And I believe that, it's just going to be bad on all sides. J.R. Smith is not going to be happy wherever he goes, because unless, he can get traded to, the Nets or something like that. I don't know why you would want him if you're the Nets, but, that's the only place where he's going to be able to take as many shots as he wants, be the main guy, and just be J.R.
But he's not a main guy.
But he's not a main guy, and that's the issue, because he's just J.R. Smith.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about this a little later. That's a little sneak peek to my ugly. I'll talk about this a little later.
All right.
But
Go ahead, Hunter.
All right, so my bad, they were originally my ugly, but I found something even uglier, so I'll have it later. But the bad is the Washington Wizards, all right? Starting 1-6, there is a lot going on in that locker room. They have, I think, just way too many personalities on that team. They have John Wall, they have Dwight Howard, they have Markieff Morris. Kelly Oubre has showed to be kind of a personality in the NBA. And there are, I believe, 6 guys who have expiring contracts this year, and they're all just trying to get theirs. They're trying to put up the best numbers that they possibly can. And there was this quote from Bradley Beal that came out yesterday. He said, sometimes we have our own agendas on the floor, whether it's complaining about shots, playing time, whatever it may be. We're worried about the wrong stuff, and that is not where our focus needs to be. It's going to continue to hurt us. And that's coming from probably their second best player on the team, one of their leaders. The Washington Wizards are bad. There's so much dysfunction. Scott Brooks is not controlling the situation. John Wall is not leading the team the way he should be. And I could see a potential John Wall trade this year. Maybe they kind of move on from Wall, stick with Beal as their guy, try to get another superstar next to him. But the Wizards are in a really bad spot at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
No, I definitely agree, and that sort of feeds into my ugly, which is not just the Washington Wizards in general, but their defensive play. I challenge both of you to Google Washington Wizards defensive plays this year, and you will find compilations just from their first couple games of how there is one clip where they double-teamed Montrezl Harrell. They double-teamed Montrezl Harrell as if that was the issue. That was the issue. Montrezl Harrell was just being too much of a beast.
Hey, he's a beast. That's what he is.
And this team is last in offensive points or opponents' points per game, and they're 25th in overall defensive rating. They can't protect the rim. They can't protect the perimeter. They're just giving up points left and right, and they're losing a lot in transition because John Wall, like you said, he's not leading that team as well as he should. He's creating a lot of risky turnovers, and it's costing the Wizards, and they look absolutely horrific right now. And I think a main part of this, a little side joke that we can all make from this is one of these things is not like the other. Whenever they changed from last season to this season, and
they lost a vital piece on defense.
They lost the most vital piece to their defense. Sleeper defensive player of the year candidate Marcin Gortat, the Polish hammer.
It didn't. I sent my vote into the NBA headquarters, but they must not have got it. I don't know.
It's absolutely ridiculous. The man is an animal on the defensive end, and I don't know why you would want to trade him for Austin Rivers. But hey.
Sure.
Did you guys see the Clippers had a tribute video to Austin Rivers?
They did.
Oh my God!
When the Wizards came to Staples Center.
Oh my gosh! They're gonna hang his jersey in the rafters one day.
Yeah,
right next to Blake. Right next to Blake.
He's one of their best players probably ever, to be honest.
Oh
the
my
Clippers
God!
have had for a long time.
That father-son duo, they'll go down in history.
May they rest in peace in the eternity of the Staples Center. All right, Cam, hit us with your ugly.
Yeah, so as I was saying earlier, my ugly is just the Cleveland Cavaliers in general. Like, of course they're going to be bad. They lost LeBron. Everyone said they're going to be bad, but I think they somehow outweighed expectations for how bad they actually are. Like, you thought they were going to be bad, but I didn't think they were going to be this bad. You got Tyron Lue getting fired, which is just... We'll get to that later on, but that's just crazy. With the fact you have J.R. Smith requesting a trade. J.R. Smith requesting a trade from your team, that is just horrendous. The J.R. Smith can be on that team and take all the shots he wants, really. Like, I don't think they care at this point. So the fact that he's requesting a trade just shows how horrible this Cleveland franchise is right now. They're 1-7. I don't think they're going to be... They may not win 20 games this year. I don't think they'll win 20 games. Like, they are just a horrible team. Kevin Love does not look good. C.D. Osman, we love C.D. Osman, but he should not be, like, a top priority on his team.
Their best player.
He's, like, arguably their best player right now, and that's not a good thing. So the Cleveland Cavaliers are ugly. I feel so bad for the city of Cleveland, but, that's what happens when you create your whole team around one player. And then that one player leaves you. So,
true.
All right, Hunter.
Wow, my ugly, and this might be this is my. It's not even a hot take anymore. My ugly is the worst player in the entire NBA, and his name is Carmelo Anthony. The worst player in the NBA. He's playing 31 minutes a game for the Houston Rockets right now, and he's averaging less than 1 assist per game. Less than 1 assist. He's averaging 0.7 assists a game. He's shooting 37% from the field. His player efficiency rating is well below the league average. It's at a 9.9 this season. And what's even worse, the worst stat I found on Carmelo Anthony, his offensive box plus minus is a negative 4.2. It's about as bad as it can possibly be. Carmelo Anthony, we're seeing the real Carmelo Anthony effect on the Rockets. They don't have anything together right now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They look horrible with Carmelo.
Carmelo
Daryl Morey, I don't know what he's doing. I thought Morey would be a guy that would just cut him immediately. I thought Daryl Morey would be the guy that just released him already. 8 games into the season, just released him.
I love me some Daryl Morey, but Carmelo Anthony.
This is the worst thing he's ever done. This is easily the worst thing Daryl Morey's ever done. And I like Daryl Morey, but he screwed up on this.
It's extremely rough to see. I mean, we saw it in OKC last year, so I don't know what Morey is thinking that it's somehow going to be any different. His style of play doesn't work for what you're trying to do in Houston. His overall demeanor in the locker room doesn't work for what they're trying to do in Houston. I think that, if they had just a little bit, more time, maybe a better free agency class, not losing Trevor Ariza, things might be different. But right now, it's going to be rough for Houston to, reach that Golden State level again.
Mhm.
It's tough because they had to pay Capella all that money too, and they
did.
Ariza losing Ariza is so bad for them. They really Ariza was very underrated piece of that team.
Yeah, he was very good in the playoffs last year for them, and I was shocked when they signed Carmelo because last year they slowed the pace way down and they just had that tough guy mentality and they were just beating up on the Warriors. If Chris Paul doesn't get hurt, the Rockets likely make the NBA Finals and they most likely win the NBA Finals. Yep. And I felt like this year they kind of strayed away from that tough mentality and they went after Carmelo Anthony. They weren't able to keep Trevor Ariza and they signed guys like James Ennis. So they kind of went away from the best.
Now, what do you guys think? What do you guys think if they trade for Butler? Do you think that changes this team?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, you think that's a good help?
It puts them in. I mean, you're talking about bringing in an elite scorer and an elite wing defender.
Yep.
Now, you can put Paul on Curry. You could put Harden on Thompson. You could put Butler on Durant. And while Durant's still going to do his thing, Butler's a good enough defender that you'll be able to limit him for at least 1, maybe 2 games. And now you're looking at Boogie on Capella, and Capella's a good enough defender to be able to stop that. And I think that, excuse me, for those of you who don't know, I'm just getting over an illness, so if you hear me coughing and stuff like that, it's just a minor thing. But I think that now you're forcing Draymond Green to be able to go out and try to beat you, and Draymond Green is a shot of trying to beat you. I think that's worth taking. I don't think he's going to be able to beat you.
Definitely. Yeah, the Rockets, I'd say they're the front runners right now for Jimmy Butler at the moment. They're going to have to give up a lot for him, but I think it would definitely be worth it because they would match up with Jimmy Butler. They would have that chance again. It's really their best chance of beating the Warriors. You just have to bench Carmelo Anthony and not play him at all. That's your only chance at actually beating Golden State.
Yeah.
And hope the team stays healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
All right. Shifting over to our, technically second, but first topic of the day, Tyron Lue was released from the Cleveland Cavaliers, or better yet, he was fired. Just after his first couple games as being a true head coach, Cleveland has been absolutely atrocious, as we've talked about. Their team just isn't good, and J.R. Smith has now requested a trade. Fellas, what was your first take whenever you first saw that Tyron Lue was going to be fired? We'll start with Hunter.
I was surprised. I didn't think they really gave him a fair chance to prove what he could actually do. Because we've seen just through the couple years he's been coaching, obviously people say, LeBron was the real coach of that team, and I'm not disagreeing with that. But certain defensive schemes and certain sideline out-of-bounds plays he would run, you could see he wasn't just there because of his personality and because LeBron liked him and because LeBron was there. He has legit coaching talent. And obviously, they haven't had a good start to the season. But when you lose LeBron James, arguably the best player of all time, stuff like this is going to happen. They have to get used to playing without LeBron James. And Kevin Love needed to step up, and I don't think he did. Cedi Osman has been pretty good for them. But they're not a good team. They don't have a lot of pieces. They're old. They don't have a lot of young talents. This was kind of, I don't want to say that this start was expected, but I can't say I'm surprised. But they should have given him at least the season to really prove what kind of coach he is. And my prediction of Billy Donovan being the first coach fired was wrong, but I was not expecting Tyron Lue to definitely be the first coach fired.
Well, Hunter, I agree with what you're saying, everything you just said there. But, I mean, this was bound to happen, right? Like, I feel like you could definitely see this coming. Now, I know 6 games into the season, that was a little early. But it was bound to happen. There's got to be a fall guy. They can't just, they're not just going to come out and say, well, we're bad because LeBron isn't here. Like, you are a franchise. You are an NBA franchise. Like, you can't just be blaming you're bad because somebody left. Like, you got to actually, try to be, there's a difference between tanking and just using excuses like that to be bad. So they had to take it out on somebody, so they took it out on Ty Lue. I do feel bad. I think you should have given him, maybe not a full season, maybe a little halfway through the season. It's just ugly to have an interim coach for so long. Look at the Bucks last year. The whole reason they lost to the Celtics in the first round.
Interim coach.
Oh, yeah, I was going to get to that. In a second. But, with the Bucks, their interim coach, he was terrible. He lost them the series against the Celtics because he was a horrible coach. But, yeah, with the Cavaliers, they want to have this whole thing with Larry Drew. They want him to be the interim coach. He wants he wants stability because he knows. He knows they have to keep putting the pain on somebody. They have to keep blaming somebody, and it's going to be the coach. So he knows he needs security, that he's going to be here for more than just this year. He wants to actually get a chance to put a team together to win some games. And, that still hasn't been resolved. They don't really have a coach.
No, it's definitely rough if you're a true Cleveland fan and not just a LeBron bandwagoner. I think that when you take a look at this team, Colin Sexton's been pretty decent, putting up 12, 13 points a game. Kevin Love you just gave all that money to, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because, he's not going to really just return to form at all, really, anymore. I think that if you're taking a look at maybe moving him to a possible contender, sort of like what we saw with the Blake Griffin situation last year, where you move him to a team that's, trying to make a good move and, they'll give you something in return. I think that's something that you can look for if I'm Kobe Altman. And I think that if you're, when I first saw that Tyron Lue was going to be fired, I was like, dang it, got it wrong in the pod, thought it was Billy Donovan. But,
Yeah, it was a day after.
It was so sad. It was so sad to see. But I think that Tyron Lue, I don't think that he's a great head coach. I don't think that he was. The fact that he didn't call a timeout in Game 1 as soon as J.R. Smith touched the ball, I think that
I don't think he's a good coach. I think he should have been fired anyway. I don't think he's a very good coach.
It's rough. He's a good guy to have in the locker room. Good guy to speak up, but
players coach.
He's a player's coach. He lets the players play. He lets them do what they want. He doesn't really. He's not that Popovich army style general mentality of leading a team, and I think that is inevitably what has costed Cleveland is that lack of that coaching. You take a look at Spoelstra in Miami. Now, granted, that team was better than last year's Cleveland Cavaliers team, but Spoelstra was able to really go at these guys and really, force them to play well, force them to play his style of basketball, play what he wanted, and that's what led to those championships. And I think that, it's
who knows if Cleveland will ever be good again, without LeBron. They've never had a good season.
With their odds, they'll probably end up with another first, number 1 overall pick. And,
we'll see what RJ Barrett does.
RJ Barrett, Zion Williamson, anybody, honestly, would help this team right now. It really doesn't matter what position they play.
Mm-hmm.
All right, going into our final topic of the day, surprising rookies. All right, so this is, granted, a small sample size, but on the whole, guys, I would say that this has been a very impressive rookie class.
Sure.
Last year we had the standouts and we had the busts. We had players who forgot how to shoot, Markelle Fultz. We had players who stepped in for injured players, Jason Tatum, and we had some amazing storylines of Rookie of the Year candidates like Donovan Mitchell. And I think that this year, you're taking a look at these players, it's absolutely fantastic. Cam, who has stood out to you as far as these NBA rookies are concerned?
Well, just a standout guy, a guy that's just like taking over the world right now because of a certain song named after his likeness, and that is, of course, Mohamed Bamba, Mo Bamba for short, of the Orlando Magic. He's not even putting up like great numbers or anything. I just think he's culturally, like, what the NBA is all about, the culture. And now with Mo Bamba, with this song, with his crazy wingspan, I just think he's been it's just crazy. But he is putting up good numbers. He has 14 blocks so far this season. He's shooting 51% from the field, and actually he's shooting 38% for three, which is pretty good for a guy at his height and his length. So that's my surprising rookie. Just, I think the Magic, they fell apart, but they got off to a hot start. They beat Hunter's Heat, and they beat my Celtics too.
That's true.
Yeah, it hurts to see them. They're falling apart now, but I really like what Mo Bamba's doing. I think Mo Bamba, even if he's not ever like that superstar, he's one of those players that you just always follow because you just love like who he is. And he just has a cultural impact on the game. And that's why I love Mo Bamba.
Hey, somebody's got to get that 8 seed. The Wizards not looking like they're going to get it. Orlando Magic, I'm telling you.
2 open playoff spots. Yeah.
Orlando's coming. I really like
they're 2-5 now, so they kind of...
Hey, it's early. They're coming.
It is early.
It's coming. All right. Hunter, who's your surprising rookie?
All right. So, obviously, there's been a lot of good rookies we've seen. DeAndre Ayton's been good. Luka Doncic has been good. I went back.
He's almost at 20 points a game.
He is. He's been really, really good. But my guy, he was drafted a little bit later in the first round. I didn't want to do some of these obvious guys that have been really good. My guy is Utah Jazz rookie Grayson Allen, former Duke Blue Devil. He hasn't played a lot yet for Utah, but when he has played, he's played really well. His game a few nights ago against the Dallas Mavericks, he shot perfect from the field, 3 for 3 from the field, 4 for 4 from the line. He had 11 points in just 13 minutes of play. He also had the highest plus-minus of anybody in that entire game. He had a plus 17 in just 13 minutes of playing. He's just showed signs of being ready to play now. He was a senior coming out of Duke, so his body was ready. I think his mind was ready as well.
But wait. He played for Duke? Is that what you're saying? Wait, he didn't win EuroLeague MVP.
Yeah, that's Luka Doncic, baby.
No, so he must not be very good then, since he played college basketball.
Oh, my goodness.
Since college basketball, since he didn't win EuroLeague MVP, he must not be very good.
19 points a game, Cam.
Luka Doncic,
dude has been a beast.
The best.
He's leading all rookies.
Cam, what do you think about Luka Doncic?
I think, he's on a bad team. The Mavs. I thought the Mavs were going to be better than they actually were. Team. Yeah, look at their record. They aren't winning games. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. He's doing good. I'm not going to say that. But I don't get it. Like, he doesn't look that fast. I think he's kind of slow around the court. I don't really see, what the hype's about. He made a couple good passes. Everybody can do that. Anybody in college basketball can make those passes that he did.
Yeah.
But just because he's EuroLeague MVP, he's out. I hate Luka Doncic is my enemy. I hate Luka Doncic. He's my rival.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So Cam, you say Luka Doncic. You say Luka Doncic looks slow, and I know you're a big time Boston Celtics fan, so you must be a pretty big fan of Larry Bird, who was not all that athletic, who is one of the best forwards of all time.
Did you watch? Go back to the highlights. Larry Bird stole the ball, bro. Have you not seen that highlight? He stole the ball from the Pistons. How is he not athletic? What kind of comment was that?
I'm not saying he's not athletic, but he's not that athletic. He's not much more athletic than Luka Doncic,
dude. He's pretty athletic.
Luka Doncic, I'd say my prediction. He's going to be I think he's going to be on par with a guy like Larry Bird.
Doncic. I can't believe you tried to compare those two.
I think it's a decent comparison.
No.
Oh my God! All right, easy, boys, easy down. Goodness.
I'm against Luka Doncic. He's my enemy in the NBA.
I feel like I was just caught in like the middle of a freaking battlefield. You guys were just throwing off. I didn't even get a chance to explain my surprise. God. Oh my goodness, fellas.
Please go ahead. Bro, there's a tornado outside right now. There's a tornado in here. I just got a tornado warning on my phone, but I think the real tornado's in here right now.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so my surprise, before the draft heading in, I didn't expect a lot from this guy. Everybody was comparing him to Steph Curry, saying that he was going to be the greatest shooter of the generation that we have right now. And I was like, I don't see it. I compared more to his absolute top being Steve Nash, and that's my man out of Oklahoma, Trae Young. He has absolutely been a surprise to me. He's second in points per game for all rookies, behind Luka Doncic. And he's first in assists. He's averaging almost double-digit assists. I believe he's somewhere around 7, 8 assists a game. So we knew his passing was going to be great. He can run the floor. He's a little undersized, but I didn't expect him to be this electric when he first got out. Granted, these are stats on a bad team, but they're better than expected. He's shooting 33% from deep right now. If he improves that, his points per game is only going to go up. He's shooting about 6 3-pointers a game, making about 2 of them, obviously 33%. And he's hitting about 43% from the field right now. And, coming in at that trade for Doncic for Young, I obviously thought the Mavericks got a steal, getting Luka. And it's clear to me that these were probably some of the both of these guys they probably could have been happy with. And I think that, the Atlanta Hawks, I like to call them the Walmart Warriors because they keep picking players who are they're trying to be the next generation Warriors. They picked Kevin Huerter, who was compared to Klay Thompson. They picked Trae Young, who was compared to Steph Curry. You know what I mean?
Spellman, Draymond Green,
Amari Spellman, Draymond Green. They're
that's
trying to be the Walmart Warriors.
That's so true. Walmart version of the Golden State Warriors. The
That's
Atlanta
what I'm
Hawks.
saying. So I think that it's going to take some time for Trae to develop. And, obviously, Steph Curry didn't jump out the gate and was the greatest shooter we've ever seen. He hit about 33% in his first couple seasons from deep. I think it's just going to take some time for Trae Young to develop. I'll be the first to say that I was wrong. I thought he was going to see what we saw in those first couple games of the Summer League where he really couldn't find his shot, but yet he still kept shooting, and it was very rough, and Lonzo Ball-esque, where he shot 19%. His field goal percentage was just awful. But I'll be the first to say it. When Trae Young possibly wins Rookie of the Year, I think I'll be the first to say that I was wrong.
He can't win. He's not EuroLeague MVP.
Well, the EuroLeague MVP is gonna win Rookie of the Year, so I don't know. He's gonna be an All-Star next season.
Oh my goodness!
You can be putting up 12 points a game, and they're just look at that versatility. That man's the Rookie of the Year, no matter what. It doesn't matter what stat line he's gonna put up. He's gonna win Rookie of the Year.
Cam, would you rather have Jaylen Brown or Luka Doncic?
Jaylen Brown.
Oh my God.
What? Really? 5 years down the road. I can see right now, but 5 years down the road.
Yeah, 5 years down the road, absolutely Jaylen Brown.
Absolutely.
The dude is so smart. He always is working on his game nonstop. The man, he's just an academic nerd. That's all he does. Is just wants to learn. He's learning
academics. They're not college players, Cam.
That doesn't matter. He's learning. He's a smart guy, which means he can work on his basketball game and he can keep improving it because he's smart and he knows what he's got to do and he has that dedication. Luka Doncic, he's just out there smoking cigarettes after the game. He doesn't give. He doesn't care.
He literally stalked out LeBron after their game against LA. He literally stood outside the Cavs locker room so he could have LeBron sign his jersey.
You become a bad player in this league. He's your enemy. You don't go up there asking for autographs.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
Okay.
Well, on a separate note, Cam, let's get a little bit happier here.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving debuted the Kyrie 5s last night. What do you think about the?
I do like them. I wasn't. It had an outdoorsy vibe on the ones he was wearing. I'm going to be interested to see the new the different color editions, different player editions, all the different stuff he's going to bring out. They look nice. They're kind of low.
I agree.
Yeah, I think they're pretty nice. I like it. How about new haircut, Kyrie? That haircut was horrible. I said it after the first game. I was like, he's got to cut that hair. Like, it just does not work. Ever since he cut the hair, he's been going off. Going off, and he actually, Celtics, one of the Celtics like broadcasters was calling him out, said he was like out of shape, and he said, you know what, I'm right. So he went back to the gym, got in shape a little bit, and now he is going off. I'm not joking. Like, you're laughing, but that's actually what happened, and it's the hair. Kyrie's looking much better. His shoes are looking flames. The Celtics, he's really starting to come together. A rough start to the season, but they've been playing well lately.
I miss this so much.
I just want to say shout out Sacramento Kings. Doing well, putting up numbers. This players are finally looking well. De'Aaron Fox. Shout out Portland Trail Blazers. Keeping it alive, even though no one talks about them. That's all I got to say.
I have a shout out as well. I also have a shout out. DeAndre Jordan, 82% from the free throw line so far this year. By far his best so far in his career.
Oh my goodness. All right. After those shout outs, like I said, this has been the Triple Double Podcast. Be sure to follow us on all our social media so that way you can be a part of the TDP team. Make sure that you share this podcast, drop a like on it, be sure to subscribe to our channel so that way you never miss an episode. That being said, this has been the Triple Double Podcast. I'm Eddie Fitzgerald.
I'm Hunter Nicely.
I'm Cam McKee.
And have a great day, everybody.